you're on. See, this camera is a source of energy. Everything comes from energy. And this is what we learned from Einstein. All matter comes from energy. And where does all matter go? It returns back to energy. So, nothing is destroyed even on the scientific level. Everything returns to the tree gets burned or it is cut and made into furniture, whatever it is, it goes back to. So therefore nothing is destroyed, nothing is lost, nothing is lost. Everything changes form. Everything changes form. And so the one who's united with God sees the change of form in the changelessness of God. You see the change of form. Cars coming, crashing, going into the garbage dump and finished, and then it comes back as something else, and it comes back as something else, it comes back as something else. So there is no loss, there is no real destruction, there is only, and on the scientific level, there is only energy changing forms. And on the spiritual level, there is only God changing the way He wants to be seen by Himself. So God changes. I want to be seen. I want to be a horse. So He takes the form of a horse. I want to be a tree. He takes the form of a tree. I want to be a star. He becomes a star. And that is why the saints used to say, I'm always walking with God. I can see His presence everywhere, because they looked beyond that thing that passes away and saw the eternal in it. And we can begin to see the eternal in the human being, and then cross over from the human being to birds and animals and dogs and alligators and bugs, and begin to see God showing Himself as in the form of a bacteria, showing Himself as all these things. Then we are already in heaven. We don't need to go to heaven to see God. We only have to change our mind and says, I'm still blind to the presence of God in the heaven where I am. There is no heaven you're going to after you're dead. If you are not there already now, you can choose to be here in this heaven by choosing to move out of your ego, move out of the sense of loss, move into the truth that you always are. So now I'm going to talk about this. So I'm going to give you more or less an exercise to do for the next 30 days. So now I will do it in your presence. Here I am doing that exercise in your presence. So I asked my mind, what are you thinking? So I think I can hear someone talking in that other class. They should have made these walls better so that the sound would not have gone from there. And then I hope what I'm teaching these students of mine is reaching them somewhere. then yeah, the weather is good. So these are the thoughts that are passing. I did not ask them to come. Now I'm going to tell my mind, you're not going to accept any thought except the one I'm going to tell you. Can you think of a green frog? Can you imagine a green frog, my dear mind? Yeah. Can you hear the frog making some funny sound? Yeah. Can you see a mosquito coming near the frog? Yeah. Can you see the frog's tongue coming full speed and getting that mosquito inside his mouth and then licking his lips? I'm telling my mind what to think. I want you to do this 5 minutes every day. So first 2-3 minutes, just sit down and watch the thoughts that are going through you. So again I'll sit down and I'll see the thoughts, random thoughts are going through me. So let's see, what's coming? There you go. Ah, Jerry had a nice class today. Then, yeah, the teachers of the religious education are doing a good job. I wish I could make them happier or show them how to do something. Then, yeah, the weather is quite good. I can still hear that woman talking right there. What are they gossiping about? Yeah, thank God she's not loud. Yeah, but they should stop talking. So can you see this random thoughts? I'm not judging nothing. I'm just saying, being aware of the thoughts. Now, I'm going to tell my mind, you think what I tell you to think, you will not. So my dear mind, let's think. I want you to think of a book. Okay. Let the book have a green cover. Think of an author who wrote that book. Okay. Now I tell you to give that author a name. Okay. And I get a name just like that. John Adamson. I don't know who the heck is, but that name came. John Adamson. Okay. Can you turn the first page? Yeah, I turn the first page. What's there? It's a blank page. Okay, turn the next page. What's there? A few words. Okay, I don't want you to see the words. Are there any pictures in this book? Yeah, there is one picture. Okay, show me the picture. Then he shows me the picture. That picture is a black and white picture. And there is a man and a woman. The man is standing and the woman is sitting on a chair and he's got his hand on his shoulder. Thank you, dear mind. You obeyed me very well. And that's how you're going to learn how to control your mind. By telling your mind, I'm going to tell you what to think every day for 5 minutes. You can do it even while driving the car. I'm going to tell you what to think. And this I'm going to tell you to think about. Then you think. So there you come to having a good grip on your mind. Now, therefore, in the first instance, the mind is thinking randomly, what is happening? You are experiencing something without being aware of it. Thoughts are going and you're not aware of them. Thoughts are going, not being aware of them. Thoughts are going, you're not being aware of them. Here, you're bringing awareness to that experience and you're saying, this is my experience. It's not an experience that happened to me. I asked this experience to happen to me. Do it for 5 minutes and now you'll know the value of throwing the pebbles into the pool of your consciousness. You're saying, this is the pebble I want to throw. throw any random pebble. And so all our life we are throwing random pebbles. 5 minutes a day, you make a choice not to put those random pebbles in your pool of thought. As you get into this 5 minutes, this exercise of things, become more and more conscious of the pebbles thoughts that are running your life, or you running the thoughts. Who is in charge? The thoughts are in charge of you, or you are in charge of the thoughts? So as you sit down and you get a thought, a random thought. So you get a random thought where you see you have a memory where you wanted to eat the ice cream and the ice cream melted and fell on the ground. Learn to laugh at that thought. So bring about those, learn to laugh. Look at those thoughts and feel the emotions and let them go. Let them go. With this, you're loosening your baggage of the past. The difference between the first and the second is radical. The first time when I sat down and I said, let me have random thoughts, it was my ego just pushing the thoughts. Then when I decided, then it was, I now no longer live. Christ lives in me. It was Christ making the decision, I want to have this thought. And His will was done. The more and more you do that, you will begin to know how you can get your will done in this universe. That is what you're going to learn. Either you go to the random things and allow your ego to damage your willpower, or you say, I'm going to tell myself what I want to think for the next 5 minutes, for the next 10 minutes, for the next day. Make it an ongoing, slowly increase the minutes, increase the time you do it, but don't break yourself. Now, after you do this, throw this pebble into the pond. For the past 5 minutes, I have been the Christ. Imagine that powerful pebble throwing down. For the first time maybe in your life, you're saying, for the past 5 minutes, I have been the Christ, because I did not allow the ego to dictate what I'm going to do. Therefore, the only other thing in my life is Christ. So so as you tell yourself this no longer this, but for the last 5 minutes, it was me telling what thought I want to have. At that moment, I became the Christ. I now no longer live. Christ lives as me. And in that is a level of peace you'll never understand. You'll never understand what peace is till you do this. In this way, what your next day will be. You can choose what your next day will be by having control and power over your thoughts. If you accept this in those 5 minutes and you come that this is I now no longer live, Christ lives as me. Therefore, if Christ is living as you, in you, with you, you are unlimited. Experience yourself as the unlimited. Experience yourself as the eternal. Experience yourself as one who will never die. You can say, I will change my form, but I will not die. I will change my form. I will no longer be in a human form. So I will be eternal. I will go from form to formlessness. All this comes from this 5 minutes. It's very, very deep. How did you do this change? You did this change without changing anything outside. The outside is still talking. The weather is still like that, the outside is still there. What changed? I changed from inside. No change from outside will ever do any good to you if it doesn't come in you. So change yourself. When you say, I now no longer live because I am the Christ. I now no longer live because I am unlimited. I am eternal. I am formless. I am infinite. I am that. Because the body will go crumble and go away. I will change my form, but the one who created me, or God, love, energy, will always be there. I will be for eternity a form of energy hovering somewhere in the universe. So with this, so much of fear is gone. If once you say, actually I can never die, I can only change the form, so no big deal. No big deal. That's why some religions, they believe in reincarnation. You will come again, change your form and come again as something else. So if that is true, that you can make your tomorrows by in this 5 minutes and going deeper into that and accepting this as yourself deeper and deeper every day, tell yourself, I am unlimited, I am eternal, I am formless, I am infinite, I am love, I am energy, I am life, I am joy, I am happiness, I am beautiful, I am abundant. So you have to say those magic words, and because that is the truth. That is the truth. Get in touch with the truth, and the truth will set you free. So now, some of the things that I would like you to carry on with this, beginning with the 5 minutes and going deeper into that. Any questions so far? That I never asked you questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And if you are ignorant, it doesn't matter. Tell your mind in those 5 minutes. Tell your mind. I want you to hold on to this thought. I demand my dear mind to hold on to this thought. So I'm going to now hold on to the thought just I went there. I'm going to tell my mind, hold on to this thought. Don't think of anything else. Your mind, I'm the master. And the thought I want you to hold on to, the Father and I, Nelson, are one. I want you to hold on to the Father and Nelson are one. Father and Nelson, one. The Father and Nelson, one. See, I held on to that thought. That is the depth of prayer. It is not a rattling of words, but it is an experience that you are calling to yourself from deep within. So, the truth is, Father, Father and I are one. That's the truth. And so you hold on to it for dear life. Then, another thought that I demand that you go into, this is the first one. Second thought in those 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Right now, I can feel the presence of Christ. Right now, I can feel the presence of Christ. Now, what I did, I was getting another distraction thought coming in between. So first time I said, right now I want to feel the presence of Christ. I was feeling another thought. I at once said, right now I want to feel. With that I drove that other thought away. I did not give a space between the two thoughts. Right now I can feel the presence of Christ. Right now I can feel the presence of Christ. Right now I can feel the presence of Christ. Enough. And the third thought I want you to have is, right now I give Christ to the world. Have that intention. Right now I give Christ to the world. When I was doing this exercise some years ago, I was getting distracted, so I said, right now I'm giving Christ to the world. And again a distraction came. So I put that thought into my breathing. So I said, when I breathe in, I said, right now I want to offer Christ to the world. Right now I want to offer Christ to the world. Right now I offer Christ to the world. Right. No distractions. End of story. Because I mixed it with my breath, I couldn't therefore break my breath, and I couldn't break that thought. So you can try that. So when you find distractions are coming crazily, and not allowing you to have your way, and your ego saying, I want to have my way, and you say, tell the ego, you know what, you're not going to breathe. So you breathe in. Right now, I give Christ to the world. Right now, I give Christ to the world. It's a beautiful way of living existence. Now, you are among people. And something happens in which you are stressed. Something happens in which you are angry. Something happens in which you are frustrated. This will all happen. This will all happen 10, 15 times a day. So, now you tell yourself without driving it away, I am stressed. Tell yourself, I am angry. I am frustrated. So you're holding on to the thought, I am stressed. I am stressed. I am stressed. And as you hold on to the thought, this thought will dissolve. You know why it will dissolve? Because another thought is saying, I am in line. So when you say, I am stressed, I am in stress, yeah, but this bulb is very nice. Okay, what you're doing, you're hiding your stress under the blanket, so you have another thought. So the ego is saying, no, actually you're not stressed, go and enjoy the light here. That exit sign looks good, yeah. But I'm stressed all the same. When will the stress go? Oh, no, but Father told me to say, I am stressed. Yeah, I am stressed. I am stressed. Oh, this camera is working or not? Can you see how you must what you do? I am angry. So as it dissolves, other thoughts will reign in. But don't let go of this. I am stressed. Now, after saying it once and or twice, you get distracted. Then you tell your mind, now, my dear mind, think of peace. Think of peace. But still the thoughts are coming. Then you attach peace to your breath. Peace. Peace. You can say it 100 times without getting distraction. And peace will fill your being, and stress and frustration and anger. Did you get up and you say, I was not stressed. I don't know what I was talking about. I feel good. That's the whole idea. You are taking charge of your universe and nothing else. So, therefore, learn to devalue all these things and give value to your infiniteness, your love, your fearlessness, your joy, your happiness, your hope. Give more importance to these things, to peace. You know why you give importance to these things? Because this passes away. This does not. This does not. So you can either remain with that which passes away and keep on getting frustrated 100 times a day, or you can live with peace and have the peace continuously in your mind. But you have to do that exercise and say, because the exercise It's not because of anything else. Exercises is meant to help you to change your habit. So how do we change our habit? The founder of the Jesuits, Saint Ignatius of Loyola, he taught them a huge spiritual principle. It is called age in Latin. It is called age contra. And he uses this metaphor or this example. So the bow, this is the bow and this is the string of the bow. This is the arrow. This is the arrow. So in order for the arrow to go, what you have to do? Pull the string and bend this bow against itself. The bow wants to be like this. You bend it, and the more you bend it, the faster the arrow goes and you get what you want. So doing these exercises is telling you to go against your ego, to draw the bow and to fight against it, so that it can reach the point where you want it to reach. Age contra. So he has got a lot of things which is called spiritual exercises of Saint Ignatius. The Jesuit fathers, they are very well versed in that. I am not. So if he says, if you have your personality is always hot-tempered. So he's saying, now age contra. So if it is hot-tempered, every time you feel hot-tempered, go in the bathroom and laugh for 5 minutes. Imagine going in the bathroom and laugh. So with that, the tension of that anger is now gone, because he went against the stringing of the bow, and so when it comes back, you're okay. Okay, another one is, let me see, he says, okay, if you feel that you are frustrated, so, and you want to go and have it out with someone, to beat that person or to grumble about that person, okay, tell yourself, I have to go. My feeling is to grumble about that person or to let that person know my mind. So go quietly, call a small child and play with the child and grumble with the child for all half an hour. So that you're going against the bow and learning the innocence from the child. So do age contra, do anything opposite to what you're feeling. So that's one of the spiritual exercises. In all these things you will learn, unlike before, you're not at the mercy of your ego, of your mind. You're not at the mercy, you're the master. One of the stories that Jesus told that man who came to Jesus and said, how can I enter the kingdom of heaven? Or how can I follow you? I wish to follow you. What did Jesus tell him? Sell all that you have and then come follow me. So what's the meaning of sell all that you have? Dispose of all the thoughts that are there in your mind and come to me blank, and I will put something inside. Sell all that you have. So all that is the thoughts that come and come and come and come, and feelings come and come and come. He says, banish them, become empty, and I will show you what to do with your life. Sell all that you have. Sell all your possessions. And the greatest possession is what? The thoughts of our mind. We don't let it go. Can you therefore release these possessions? Release these possessions that are a huge burden. Release this attachment to your thoughts. Release this attachment to your feelings. Release all kinds of attachments and tell yourself, this is what I want to think. This is what I want to experience. Nothing else. For so many years and even now of my life, I tell the people also during Mass and myself also, oh God, I want to have an experience of you today. Starting now. That's my decision. So everything now, by looking at Alison, I'm having an experience of God because I decided that this is an experience of God. But rather the ego say, no, you're bluffing yourself. No, I decide that in seeing and looking at Rosalie, I have an experience of God. I decided it. Nobody can tell me not to see God in her. I decide. I decide to see God in Jerry. I decide. And keep that decision and say, it is my decision. It's not because the Pope Francis said it. It is not because some saint said it. It is not even because Jesus Christ said it. It is because I decide. I can decide. I can decide. I can decide. God, the greatest gift God has given us is the power to choose and to make decisions. And that He will never take away from us. The power to choose and the power to make decision is never taken away from us. Let us cherish that gift and make use of that power to choose and the power to decide. Nobody. So let us also in our prayer tell our minds, okay, now you're going to think of the great power to decide that God has given us. God has given me. God has given me the power to decide. God has given me the power to decide. God has given me the power to choose. And you know what, my dear mind, I will choose what you have to think. Beautiful. So, if that is what you're going to do, so first, choose to allow only loving thoughts to inhabit your mind. Will you allow any Tom, Dick and Harry, roadside person whom you do not know, knocking at your door and saying, I want to stay in your house for the next 1 week? You'll say, I'll call 911. But we have left an open door to all the miserable thoughts of our existence and say, all are welcome, all are welcome. Can you see, in a way, we have prostituted our minds to things that are going up and down, up and down. So, choose therefore to have only loving thoughts, loving experiences in your beautiful mind. Keep a lock on that mind and say, I will not allow anything except loving thoughts in my mind. My mind is mine and is the most precious commodity that I have. What more do I have than my mind? It will last forever. My body will come and go. Now, choose only to have loving words. Because from the thoughts come the words. then you go to the third. Choose only to have loving actions, gestures, manners. It all begins by choosing loving thoughts, which are translated into words, that are translated into actions. If you don't have this, this is not there. If you don't have this, this is not there. Every day when you're doing this 5 minutes or any other time, tell your mind, dear mind, I want you to have a nice ice cream and enjoy that ice cream. And the name of the ice cream is the peace of God. Let the mind enjoy that ice cream called the peace of God. Let the mind enjoy a nice beef steak and call it heaven in my heart. Choice. You can do anything that you. It's like the children when they play. They play. They say, okay, now they make all the dolls sit down there. They say, okay, now Janet, why are you not having your tea? There is no tea. There is no. Only the doll is there with the empty cup. But the child has chosen to see a cup full of tea and to see that that Janice doll is not drinking that tea. Choice. So is it real for the child? Yeah, she'll say, Mama, Janice is not having the tea. Then Mama will go, yeah, Janice, you're a dirty girl. It goes on the girl. Can we see, we play these games with our mind the whole day and we have not yet lost that childishness. It's not innocence, it's childishness. So living in this, therefore, by doing all this, you're actually choosing to make of your life a heaven or a hell. You can choose. I told you so many times, God has not created heaven, He has not created hell. He has allowed us to create our own heaven and our own hell. He said, I'm not going to take the trouble to create heaven or hell. I know you're going to do it yourself. You know that story I tell sometimes connected with this. So the story goes like this. So there was a contractor and building and building and building and building. And he had made a ton of money. So that contractor had a faithful man, foreman or something like that, to whom he used to tell him, and that guy used to faithfully do the job for a long time. Then the master one day, this man one day told the master, or the master was closing his business, so he said, you know what, I want you to build one house for one client of mine, and I'm going out for the next 3 or 4 months. When I come, I'll settle everything and I'll pay you. Now you take some advance and all. And he said, I'm going. So he went, and so this guy says, this master is not there, there is no supervision, and after all it's for some unknown guy, I don't even see him around. So he started doing shoddy work. Instead of putting good lights, he put second-rate lights. Instead of putting nice bricks, he put something else. So everywhere where he could pinch something, he pinched from there. And so after 3 months or 4 months, the master came and he asked him, did you finish the work? He says, yes, you can come and see if you like. He said, no, I trust you. You have done a good job and I trust that you have done a good job with it. He's saying, yeah, now, he's saying, where is the client who's going to live in that house? He says, no, he says, that is my gift to you. That is what God has done to us. So you build your own heaven, your own. Finally, when you go to the door, he says, "Where is heaven?" No, I'll put you on earth to build your heaven. So he will give us the heaven that we have made. So better make a great heaven, or you'll be making a heaven where that is not up to the mark for you. You can make the best heaven you want right now, right here, and without waiting for God to create one, because He is waiting for you. He's saying, I gave you the brains, I gave you the ability, I gave you all the thing, everything I gave it to you. I gave you a free check, and now He said to create your, but you did that. I don't know what you did, but it is yours. Whatever you have done is yours. It's a beautiful story. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father.
We'll see you next week.